Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for watching CNXG. Today is a video titled, Am I the Borderline? Very frequently asked question in this community, very frequently asked question to me, and it's reasonable. I understand that feeling, that concern that you guys have. I also made a video titled, Am I the Narcissist? Made that quite a while ago. It's down the videos quite a ways if you're interested in that as well. This is similar, it applies. First of all, I want to start with I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm not qualified to diagnose anyone. I will not tell someone they are borderline. I will not tell someone they are not. That's not what this video is for. I'm hoping I can give you guys a little reassurance, a little guidance, or to make you feel a little better about your concern. Being close to someone with borderline personality disorder feels like borderline personality disorder. You can feel like that. They have extremely unregulated emotions. Their emotions are crazy, and as you get close to someone like that, you feel that way. Okay? We don't always have to feel this way with a borderline as well. It's people with very unregulated emotions can make you feel that way when you're close to them. I'm asked this question so much because your emotions feel so unregulated after the relationship. Please try to understand, first, a personality disorder must require a number of traits, a certain specific number of traits. So there's certain specific traits, and there must be a number of them. You must have all of them. So it's a certain number out of this. So I'm not going to get technical because I don't want to confuse anyone. Feel free to go look into borderline personality disorder and learn about it. See if that makes sense to you. If you think that is you, the real correct way is to go ask a qualified doctor. To be diagnosed. That is the correct way. I would hate anyone with a personality disorder to try to diagnose themselves and say, no, I don't have one. Okay? So, but these are some things that I hope can help you understand. I know you hear about borderline traits and behaviors and things, and you say, oh, well, I do those, or I've done that before, or now, and realize that that's a lot of them, okay? So, and it's all of them. So you may have a fear of abandonment, and you've heard, the two things I've always said, borderlines, is they are ruled by that fear of abandonment and a need for attention. You may realize that in your life you've had a need for attention. You may have a fear of abandonment. That does not mean you're borderline, okay? That alone does not mean you're borderline. You may have unregulated emotions, especially right now. That doesn't mean you're borderline. That alone. Okay? I've talked a lot about borderlines don't have a clear sense of self, who they are. Don't know what to identify with. You may feel like that after this relationship or times in your life. It doesn't mean that because of that you are borderline. I've talked about dissociating. You may have learned about dissociating, heard of dissociating. You may know that borderlines dissociate. But you may dissociate. You may have dissociated. You may be doing it now. You may be doing it a certain amount of your day every day. That does not mean you are borderline. Okay? Dissociation is a natural thing to do. It's good we have it. Shouldn't be doing it all the time. Doesn't mean you're borderline. We may have addictions, food disorders, eating disorders. And I've told you those are very common. You may have those. Doesn't mean you're borderline. You may have self-sabotage. You may have self-sabotaging behavior. Doesn't mean you're borderline. We've talked about borderlines. Some borderlines cut. You may have cut at some point in your life. Doesn't mean you're borderline. Okay? If you did all of this all the time, your entire life, might be a problem. Borderline personality disorder is from trauma. Okay? So we just experienced trauma. You just experienced a traumatic relationship. The most traumatic thing in your life, maybe. Okay? So it feels like they do. They're reacting to trauma. You're reacting to trauma. Ask yourself, have you felt like this your entire life? Or just now? Signs of borderline start and begin in childhood. Now, typically doctors don't want to and may not ever diagnose a child with a personality disorder. But the signs start in childhood. Okay? Were you ADHD as a child? That's a sign that you could be borderline. 5 times more likely to be. But because you're ADHD as a child does not mean that you're borderline now. Okay? If a child who is ADHD is 5 times more likely to be borderline, that doesn't mean if you're ADHD, you're probably borderline. That should tell you that there's millions of adults who were ADHD as a child and are not borderline. Okay? Here's key, and I hope this will really help you, and it should. Okay? I say this a lot. Implement solution. That is the key difference. That can be a key difference between borderline and not borderline. Personality disorder and not. As an example, a client asks me, they believe they just got out of a relationship with a borderline, and am I the borderline? I tell them, I come up with, they have problems, right? They have problems with how they do things. They have problems in relationships. They have problems with how they feel. And I come up with solutions to these problems. What I believe to be good solutions. And they agree. Good solutions. Okay. Borderline won't do them. Borderline will not implement solution. Okay? Now, if you do the work that I tell you to do, and you change your lives, and you stop addictions or eating disorders, and you do this on your own, or just with a therapist you meet once a week, talk therapy, or just with me, a coach or another coach, if you do the work and you stop addictions and your life is better, you probably don't have a personality disorder. Okay? If you do everything your therapist or coach tells you to do, and you know you've done everything you can, and you can't, you stop these addictions and eating problems and stuff, and you do all the work that your professional tells you to do, and you either, or if you don't implement solution, or if you cannot solve your problems, there may be an underlying problem, yes. There may be. So, all you got to do is do the work. I'm telling you guys in my videos what to do, okay? And, there's lots of other information out there. See a therapist that is trained and knowledgeable in this stuff, okay? That's what it's for. I don't just listen to people's problems either, I coach you along the way. I want to make sure you don't make mistakes, keep making the same mistakes, and I want you to learn from your mistakes when you do, and I want you to start doing things the correct way until it becomes normal and natural for you, okay? That wouldn't work with someone with a personality disorder. I cannot help someone with a personality disorder. Okay, I could make someone with borderline personality disorder be my only client, and I could not have a single other client, not do videos, just talk to them every day, and I could come up with solutions to their problems every single day for like 2 years. Won't help. It may help sometimes, make them feel better, stuff like that, but it's not going to work. It's not enough. Okay? Borderlines need, thank God, supposedly there is something that people with borderline can do. That's called stuff like DBT therapy, and that is very extensive. It's not just talk therapy. That does not work. Okay? So if you're doing these things and it doesn't work, yes, there's a problem. If you're doing these things and it starts working, there's no problem. Your personality is not disordered. Okay? I hope that adds a little reassurance, a little comfort for some. And maybe it helps some people understand what you need to do. Okay? Because this is very frequently asked, and I totally understand. I get it. I know that feeling, you know. You're like, Jesus, is it me? And that's a very good sign that you ask yourself that question. A lot of disordered people don't. It does not serve them. The victim mentality does not allow it. Okay? Thank you, guys. Always, any questions you have, please go down below and ask me. I'll answer anything you have. And love yourself first. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.